Why isn't it video dumping? Why not? Oh, hey, look, it did the thing I said it would do. Rejected off of the sold calls. I just see who had the stronger stream, me or my bidet. Okay. Fun. I believe we're finally getting the market crash. You need to fucking relax, popcorn. We're kind of just falling into neutral. Oh, my straddle. 20 seconds? I got it. I just bought it at market. Ding ding. Market crash canceled. Yeah. I like the uptick in vol going to CPI print tomorrow. So, I guess I should note from a technical perspective, this is pretty bearish. While there's still a chance for another breakout, the range gets a little more limited. So instead of being like 44.61, I think the end of the day is probably going to put us nearer like 44.50 ES as our breakout range. Obviously, if this fails overnight below 44.10, that becomes significantly worse, but we're not there yet. Probably won't see that without CPI. I still think tomorrow we're going to be kind of locked up in this range, but we may trade to the lower end of it before bouncing, and then we'll see what happens into the rest of the week. But there's like 4 failed breakouts on the long-term trend today. Failed breakout last Friday on the long-term trend. That's not really a good sign, especially because it's not just the 44.35 level, right? It's the selling's keeping in line with the trend, which is a little more bearish. Yeah, here we can see the long-term trend on SPX versus ES, and you can see that we didn't even actually test it today. That does leave the possibility open that tomorrow we test it, but it's a descending trend, so the test will be at a lower level than the high today. So say tomorrow we hit an equivalent high that we hit today, tomorrow that would actually test the trend. And then, a rejection from that point, our first target for a rejection from that point would be back down to 43.35 into the end of the week, right? And then obviously, going into next week, we'd be looking at like the uptrend here for support, and then, or a breakdown below the 50 MA. On the weekly, kind of the same deal except a little bit more range. Like a breakdown on the weekly still would be, aiming at that 43.30 level. But if that 43.30 level were to break over the next week, we'd be looking lower here to like the 50 MA. But for now, I mean, we're still above the 20. So we haven't quite lost that. Although this is a pretty decent sign of weakness. Yields kind of moved up a little bit today. They spiked earlier in the day and fell down, started to turn back up a little bit into close, which pulled on tech slightly, but not very much. Dollar's down on the day, but dollar against the yen is up. Correlation on the 1 month turned around really hard today. Now the 3 month is trailing, and part of this is, we're going into VIX expiration, but probably something to keep an eye on over the next couple of days, because if correlation bottoms out here, that's very bearish. We're gonna start to see the flow of volatility move more into indexes, and despite the drop today, VIX is still up over last Friday. And here we can also see that volatility is picking up as bond yields kind of flee, and there's a little less pressure on the carry trade throughout the day. But when they do finally stop pressuring this, that'll probably open up some more downside, because this is where they're getting a lot of that liquidity. Bond move print, you have to wait till later. I wanted to look at broad commodities did kind of okay today. There's expected to be some interest rate easing from China this week, and I think there might be a little speculation on commodities regarding that. So if they soften monetary policy a little, and I think it's like their 1 year lending facility rate, that's going to be seen as like a form of economic stimulus. And obviously, since China's been doing nothing lately, the expected demand in commodities and oil will probably see some price improvement. I think that's about it. GME contracting into the end of the day with a little bit of a bounce, actually. So maybe a slight sign of covering. XRT moved up a little bit, not nearly enough to get it off reg show. And GME dropped over the second half of the day. So there is some short covering occurring, very minimal so far, but it broke the trend that we've been in for some time. So that might be significant. It it'll probably reverse tomorrow morning. And if that's going to be persistent, we'll see more of an indication of it towards the end of this week. I think that's about it. Was there anything else anyone had any questions on? How about CPI? I'll cover all the CPI stuff in tonight's write-up. Expectations, price realization following it, all of that. I've been becoming a fan of the QQQ straddle just to see what ES will do after SPX closes. Wind down later. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll see you bright and early tomorrow. Everybody have a great night. Later.